At the outbreak of World War II, the British Empire controlled the largest navy on Earth. From the cold waters of the North Atlantic to the vast expanse of the Pacific, the Royal Navy stood as Britain's first and final line of defense. It protected global trade routes, hunted enemy raiders, escorted convoys, and carried the war to every ocean on the planet. This is the complete arsenal of the Royal Navy in World War II. The battleships, carriers, cruisers, destroyers, and submarines that fought a 6-year global naval war. Battleships and battlecruisers, the iron backbone of the empire. At the core of the Royal Navy stood its capital ships, symbols of imperial power and naval dominance. HMS King George V, the namesake of Britain's modern battle line. Compact, heavily armored, and armed with 10 14-inch guns, she hunted Germany's surface raiders across the Atlantic. HMS Prince of Wales, the most famous ship of her class. She carried Britain into the Pacific and fought the Bismarck before meeting her fate off Malaya. The Queen Elizabeth class, veterans reborn for a modern war. HMS Warspite, the old warrior, modernized and battle-hardened. She became one of the most accurate gunnery platforms ever built. HMS Valiant, a Mediterranean brawler, striking Italian fleets and shore positions across North Africa. HMS Barham, an aging dreadnought, lost suddenly to submarine attack, a reminder of the new undersea threat. The Revenge-class battleships, slower, older, but indispensable. They guarded convoys and held the line while newer ships fought abroad. Then came the battlecruisers. HMS Hood, the pride of the fleet. Sleek, powerful, and tragically vulnerable. Her loss shocked the world. HMS Renown, fast and modernized. She survived the war through constant upgrades. HMS Repulse, a high-speed veteran, lost in the Pacific to air power, proving the battleship's age was ending. Aircraft carriers. The war at sea was no longer fought by guns alone. World War II transformed naval warfare, and the Royal Navy adapted quickly. HMS Ark Royal, the most famous British carrier of the early war. Her aircraft crippled the Bismarck and changed naval history. The illustrious class carriers, armored flight decks, built to survive. HMS Illustrious, hammered by bombs in the Mediterranean, yet refused to sink. HMS Formidable, scarred by combat, but operational when it mattered most. Then came the unsung workhorses, Royal Navy escort carriers. Small, slow, and vital. They guarded convoys across the Atlantic, hunting U-boats where battleships never sailed. Though smaller than American counterparts, British carriers maintained constant global presence throughout the war. Cruisers, the fists of the fleet. HMS Belfast, a town-class light cruiser. Arctic convoy guardian. Normandy bombardment veteran. The county-class heavy cruisers. Long-range hunters, patrolling the oceans in search of enemy raiders. The Leander-class light cruisers. Balanced, versatile, and deployed everywhere Britain fought. The Crown Colony class cruisers. Smaller and mass-produced, designed to replace wartime losses and keep pressure on the enemy. These ships were constantly at sea, escorting, raiding, blockading, and supporting amphibious landings from Norway to Burma. Destroyers, the wolves of the Atlantic, the tribal-class destroyers. Heavily armed and aggressive, built for fleet combat and surface action. The J, K, and N-class destroyers. The true backbone of wartime escort forces. Fast, flexible, and constantly at sea. They hunted submarines, screened fleets, and rescued survivors from burning waters. Many were lost, but many more ensured Britain never starved. Escorts and corvettes. The Flower-class corvettes. Small, slow, and uncomfortable, but relentless. They escorted merchant ships through the deadliest waters on Earth. The River-class frigates. Larger and more capable, designed specifically to hunt submarines with sonar and depth charges. Without them, Britain would have starved. Submarines. Britain's silent hunters. The T-class submarines. Large, long-range boats operating in the Mediterranean and Far East, strangling Axis supply lines. The U-class submarines. Smaller, agile, and deadly. They became some of the most successful British submarines of the war. British submariners fought under extreme conditions, contributing quietly but decisively to Allied victory. The Royal Navy entered World War II as the world's largest fleet and emerged transformed by 6 years of global warfare. From battleships and carriers to corvettes and submarines, Britain's warships fought on every ocean, protecting supply lines, supporting invasions, and defeating enemy fleets. This was not just a navy of steel, but a navy of endurance. Which Royal Navy warship do you think had the greatest impact on the war? Let me know in the comments.